Here is something that no one in the fitness world is telling men over 60. You can eat the right protein, you can train 4 days a week, you can sleep 8 hours, and you can still be losing muscle. Not because your program is wrong, not because your diet is broken, but because of one hormone that operates completely beneath your awareness. And at our age, it is working against us 24 hours a day. That hormone is cortisol. Cortisol is not inherently the villain. It is your body's primary stress response chemical designed to help you survive immediate danger. But here is the brutal truth. Men over 60 carry chronically elevated cortisol levels at roughly 15 to 20% higher than they did at 35. And when cortisol stays high for days, weeks, and years, it does not just slow muscle growth. It actively dismantles the muscle you have already built. Today, I am going to show you exactly how that happens at the cellular level. Then I am going to give you 4 precise, science-backed strategies to shut it down. And at the end, I have a force multiplier bonus. One habit that amplifies every single thing we cover by a factor most men never discover. Here is what we are covering. The biological mechanism behind cortisol-driven muscle loss, the morning cortisol window you are almost certainly mishandling, the sleep-stress loop that is silently shrinking your frame, a 2-part recovery protocol with exact timing, and that bonus that ties it all together. Stay with me. This one changes everything. Gerald was 67 when he came to me frustrated. He had been training consistently for 2 years. His diet was clean. His numbers, the weight on the bar, the miles on the trail, they were not moving. He looked in the mirror and felt like he was getting smaller, not bigger. His doctor ran labs and everything came back normal. But Gerald's cortisol was sitting at the high end of the normal range and his testosterone had dropped to the floor. He was not broken. He was hormonally handcuffed. Here is the mechanism. Cortisol is a glucocorticoid hormone produced by the adrenal glands. Its primary job during a stress response is to raise blood glucose fast, giving your body immediate fuel to fight or flee. It does this by triggering a process called gluconeogenesis, which means it converts non-glucose sources into glucose. And its favorite source? Amino acids. Specifically, the amino acids locked inside your muscle tissue. This process is called muscle protein catabolism, and it directly opposes the anabolic pathway you are trying to activate every time you train. The anabolic pathway runs through a protein complex called mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin, which is the primary switch your body uses to build new muscle tissue. Cortisol and mTOR are biochemical enemies. Elevated cortisol suppresses mTOR activation. No mTOR activation, no muscle synthesis. It is that direct. And here is what makes this especially dangerous for men over 60. We already face a condition called anabolic resistance, meaning our muscles require more stimulation and new protein to achieve the same rate of synthesis we had at 40. Add chronic cortisol elevation on top of anabolic resistance, and you have a scenario where the gas pedal barely works and someone is riding the brake simultaneously. Cortisol upregulates a protein called myostatin. Think of myostatin as the body's internal governor. It exists specifically to limit how much muscle you can build. In younger men, strength training suppresses myostatin aggressively. In older men, with elevated cortisol, that suppression is significantly blunted. So to summarize, high cortisol breaks down existing muscle for fuel, blocks mTOR from building new muscle, and releases myostatin to cap your growth ceiling. You can train perfectly and lose ground. Gerald was not imagining it. His body was fighting him from the inside. But here is what you need to know next. There is a specific window every single morning where cortisol peaks, and what you do in that window determines whether it works for you or destroys you. Raymond, 71, described his mornings to me as his most productive time. He was up at 5:30, coffee in hand by 5:35, emails by 5:45, skipping breakfast because he was never hungry that early. He trained at 6 a.m., fasted and proud of it. He was also, by his own admission, perpetually exhausted by noon and losing muscle despite training 5 days a week. I told him, Raymond, your morning routine is the problem. Here is the biology. Within 30 to 45 minutes of waking, the human body experiences what researchers call the cortisol awakening response. a natural sharp spike in cortisol levels, sometimes as high as 50 to 100% above baseline. This spike evolved to mobilize energy for the demands of a new day. In young men, it resets quickly. In men over 60, it is more pronounced and takes longer to resolve. Now here is where most men make a costly mistake. They combine that cortisol spike with additional stressors: high-intensity training, fasted cardio, caffeine on an empty stomach, and immediate exposure to the blue light and demands of a phone screen. Each of those inputs signals threat to your nervous system and either sustains or amplifies the cortisol peak. Instead of a spike that clears in 90 minutes, you are carrying elevated cortisol deep into the morning, right through what should be your peak anabolic window. Caffeine deserves specific attention here. Coffee does not just wake you up. It stimulates your adrenal glands to release additional cortisol. Drinking coffee immediately upon waking before you have eaten, before your cortisol has begun to naturally decline, extends that spike significantly. I am not telling you to give up coffee. I am telling you to delay 90 to 120 minutes after waking. Let your cortisol begin its natural decline first. Then the caffeine hits an already normalizing baseline. The protocol for the morning window is specific. Wake up and within 20 minutes, consume 30 to 40 grams of protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a quality protein shake. This is not about triggering mTOR immediately. It is about giving your body an amino acid pool, so that when cortisol mobilizes gluconeogenesis, it pulls from your dietary protein instead of your muscle tissue. Delay your intense training until 2 to 3 hours after waking, after the cortisol curve has begun its descent. Expose yourself to 10 minutes of natural morning light, not phone light, sunlight, which helps calibrate your circadian cortisol rhythm through the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Raymond made these 3 changes. Within 4 weeks, his noon energy crash disappeared. Within 4 months, he added 4 pounds of lean mass while training eat frequently than before. That is the morning window. But the real sabotage for most men over 60 happens somewhere most people never look. In the hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Victor was 68 and training hard. He ate well. He took his protein seriously. But every time he got blood work done, his testosterone sat at the low end of normal and his cortisol ran high. He slept, he said, about 5.5 hours on a good night. He watched TV until midnight and was up at 5:30. He thought he was just a short sleeper. He was actually running a cortisol-driven muscle destruction cycle every single night. Here is the mechanism. Human growth hormone, the primary anabolic driver during recovery, releases in a series of pulses, though the largest pulse occurring in the first 90 minutes of deep sleep, specifically during slow-wave sleep. Testosterone synthesis also peaks during nocturnal sleep, reaching its highest levels in the early morning hours. Both of new hormones are profoundly sensitive to sleep disruption. Chronic sleep restriction, defined as fewer than 7 hours per night, elevates evening cortisol by up to 37% in men over 60. That elevated evening cortisol directly suppresses the slow-wave sleep stage where growth hormone fires. Less deep sleep means eat GH. Less GH means slower muscle protein synthesis. Simultaneously, that cortisol is activating AMPK, an enzyme that signals your body to slow growth processes and prioritize energy conservation. AMPK and mTOR are opposing switches. When one is on, the other is off. Stress and poor sleep keep AMPK dominant. This is the triple threat. Poor sleep raises cortisol, high cortisol suppresses growth hormone, suppressed GH reduces mTOR activity. The result is what researchers call accelerated sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, running at a rate that no training program can fully overcome. The sleep protocol is not complicated, but it is non-negotiable. Target 7 to 8 hours of total sleep time. Set a consistent sleep and wake time. Your body's cortisol rhythm is circadian, meaning NOR runs on a 2/4-hour clock, and irregular schedules disrupt its reset. Keep your room below 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperature drop is one of the primary physiological cues for melatonin release and cortisol suppression. Avoid training within 3 hours of sleep. Elevated cortisol from late exercise stays active for up to 2 hours post-workout, delaying sleep onset and suppressing that critical first deep sleep cycle. You now have the why. You have the morning window. You have the sleep protocol. The next chapter is where we bring it all together into a complete weekly system, though exact training structure, recovery timing, and the specific stress reduction technique that directly lowers cortisol at the cellular level within 4 weeks. Arthur was 72. He had come to me after 6 months of overtraining, 6 days a week, high intensity, chasing the results he remembered from his 40s. He was exhausted, irritable, and his muscle mass had actually declined over that 6-month period. His cortisol was chronically elevated from training stress, compounding life stress. Arthur needed to do eat not more, and doing less, doing right, gave him more. Here is the complete protocol, built on the biology we have covered: training, volume, and frequency. For men over 60, managing cortisol, 3 to 4 training sessions per week is the evidence-supported optimal range. Many frequent sessions do not allow the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal system that drives cortisol output, to fully reset between sessions. Each session should stay between 45 and 60 minutes. Past the 60-minute mark, cortisol rises sharply and testosterone begins to decline, flipping the hormonal balance from anabolic to catabolic. Rep range and load. The cortisol response to training correlates directly with training intensity and perceived effort. Very high intensity, near maximal efforts spike cortisol very aggressively. For muscle building with cortisol management, aim for 3 to 4 sets in the 8 to 12 rep range, at 65 to 75% of your estimated 1 rep max. This range stimulates mTOR and myofibrillar protein synthesis, without driving a disproportionate cortisol response. Compound movements, squats, hip hinges, rows, presses, deliver the highest anabolic stimulus per unit of hormonal cost. Rest periods. This is where new men over 60 sabotage their sessions without realizing nor. Short rest periods under 60 seconds keep cortisol elevated throughout the session and reduce the quality of each subsequent set. Rest 90 to 120 seconds between sets of moderate exercises and up to 3 minutes do your heaviest compound movements. Use that rest intentionally. Controlled breathing, 4 counts inhale, 4 counts hold, 6 counts exhale, activates the parasympathetic nervous system and begins cortisol downregulation due sets. Post-workout nutrition window. Within 30 minutes of training, consume 30 to 40 grams of protein, paired with a moderate carbohydrate source, roughly 40 to 60 grams. The carbohydrate component triggers an insulin response that directly suppresses post-exercise cortisol. This is not optional, nor cortisol management is your goal. Weekly stress audit. Identify your highest cortisol loading activities outside the gym: traffic, difficult relationships, financial stress, news consumption. Cannot always eliminate these, but you can buffer those. 20 minutes of low-intensity walking in nature has been shown to reduce cortisol by 15 to 20% in aging populations. This is not a workout. It is a cortisol reset tool. Arthur trained 3 days a week. He added the walks. He fixed his sleep. He shifted his coffee. 4 months later, his lean mass was up 4 pounds. His testosterone had normalized. He felt, he told me, like he had his body back. Before we get to the force multiplier, I want to ask you something specific. Drop your answer in the comments right now. What is your biggest stress right now, not in the gym, but in life? Because for men over 60, it is almost never the training that is the problem. It is the load we are carrying outside nunting walls. Work pressure, sleep issues, family complexity, financial stress. Whatever yours is, write no below, because the next time I build a protocol, I am building it around what you are actually dealing with. The moat habit that amplifies everything we covered today is this: a structured decompression window of 10 to 20 minutes, practiced once daily at the same time each day. I am not talking about meditation in the popular sense. I am talking about a specific physiological protocol called non-sleep deep rest NSDR, sometimes Gaila Yoga Nidra. It is a body scan and breath awareness practice done lying flat, eyes closed, in a low-stimulation environment. Research out of Stanford and neo-independent labs shows that a single 20-minute NSDR session reduces plasma cortisol by an average of 14% and restores dopamine tone in the prefrontal cortex. Here is why it is a force multiplier. Everything we covered today, all of it, works at a higher level when your baseline cortisol is lower. NSDR directly lowers that baseline. It is the physiological floor from which all your other habits operate. Lower the floor, and every ceiling rises. The protocol is simple. Find a free guided NSDR track. There are dozens available. Lie flat, follow the guidance. Because it happens at the same time daily, ideally in the early afternoon, when cortisol naturally dips as part of its circadian rhythm. That timing amplifies the effect. It takes 20 minutes. It costs nothing. And no may be the single highest return on investment habit for men over 60 who train seriously. Here is what I know about you. You watched this entire video. You did not quit halfway through, nor got technical. You did not skip the mechanism sections to get to the quick tips. That tells me something important about who you are. You are not chasing shortcuts. You are building real understanding. And men who build real understanding get real results, not for 6 weeks, but for the rest of their lives. The work we covered today is not complicated. Eat protein within 20 minutes of waking. Delay your coffee 90 minutes. Train 3 to 4 days a week, 45 to 60 minutes per session. Rest fully between sets. Hit your post-workout nutrition window. Protect your sleep like it is non-negotiable, because it is. Walk in nature. Practice your 2-0-minute NSDR. These are not hacks. These are the conditions under which the human body over 60 is designed to grow. Cortisol is a powerful hormone, but so is your consistency, so is your understanding, and so is the compound effect of doing the right things in the right order for long enough. You are in the top 5% of men your age, not because you are gifted, because you refuse to stay uninformed. That is the rare kind of strength. Now, go do the work.